Hey guys, welcome to the Prep Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here. I hope God's truly blessing you. Hey, we're going to talk about filling up our 1-pound propane tanks, how we can refill them ourselves. So stay tuned. Well, as I said, this is the Prep Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim, and I'm so glad you're here, and I hope God's truly blessing you. Hey, if it's your first time with us, now do me a favor. Do not hit that subscribe button yet, because I want you to know what we stand for. I can save you some time and me some time. All right, guys, we are pro-God. That means we invoke the name of Jesus Christ. You'll see sermons up on this channel, as a matter of fact. Hence the name, the Prepping Preacher channel, okay? We are also pro-family, and along with that goes pro-life. That means we do not support the murdering of innocent babies. We are also pro-Second Amendment. Now, that means things that go bang. Praise God that our forefathers thought to put that in there right behind the First Amendment, which is getting assaulted every day right now. But that Second Amendment will guard the other amendments that we have. Now, not only are we pro-Second Amendment, but we're also pro-military and pro-police. We support the blue. Let me explain something here. If you think that all LEOs, law enforcement officers, or jackboot thugs, well, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, there's some great men and women out there that's serving, and it's always usually the people that think that are the ones that want them there when things go bad. So not only that, but we support our veterans, and we thank you. I am one of myself, and I thank you, brothers and sisters, for the service that you've done for this country. Now, if you like all them, because we're just pro-American, that's what it boils down to. And so that seems to be a bad thing today. But it's not in my book, and it's not in a whole bunch of people's books, and we're just the silent majority that they always talk about. All right, so if you like those things, well, hit the subscribe button. That way you'll help us get our voice out because, man, I tell you, the congregation we got here is great. People are supporting each other. They're praying with each other. We're sharing information, and that's what it's about. It's about community, and we're building a community right here, and you can be part of it. Just hit that subscribe button and hit a like if you see something there that you've learned, man. But thank y'all for being here and giving me that valuable asset, your time. Now, on to what we're talking about. I've had a lot of requests about how to fill these 1-pound canisters of propane ourselves. And it's really quite simple. Okay, you got to have some tanks. Now, I would suggest you getting some of these 1-pounders as soon as possible. Because if you look for them back during the China virus time, they were non-existent. So pick up as many as you can afford and put them up. They're going about $8 to $9 for 2 right now at China Mart, Tractor Supply, maybe a little higher. Places like Academy have them. Different places have them. But pick these up, all right, so that you have the tanks. But once you've used these, like in your Mr. Heater Big Buddy that we've talked about, or your Coleman stove, some of that, and they're empty, well, you can refill them. And let me explain what you do here. Or I will show you, but you need this. This is an adapter. This is Gas One's adapter. I like it. It's a good quality build. I love it. It's got the big knurled nut that you put on the big tank, and you can tighten it up. I've not had any problem with it. I've filled quite a few of these tanks up. You've got your adapter. You got to have your tank. Not only that, but you need to also have a scale. Now, this is just a standard kitchen scale. I'll put something up there for you, but it's a standard kitchen scale. Why do I need a scale, Brother Tim? Well, you're going to weigh this tank empty, and it should be around 15 ounces to a pound, depending on what tank you've got. Some have a plastic bottom, some have a steel bottom, and so they'll have different weights. But you weigh each individual tank because you want 1 pound of gas in here. I'll explain this as we go. Also, besides the kitchen scale, get you something. Now, I use a hex key, a little hex key that I had extra. And that's to bleed the valve on the inside so that I can get the air out. Now, I'll explain it in the video how we're doing it, but basically you're putting LP, liquid propane in here. It's liquid, all right? So you're displacing the air, so that air will create an air bubble there at the top. So you have to bleed it and fill again, and a couple, 3 times, 2 to 3 is what I normally do, to get to that pound or close to that pound, all right? And so you'll see in the video. So let's go ahead and go, and I'll show you how to do it. Had a lot of requests on how to fill these up to use them with our Big Buddy heater or our Coleman stove or even the gas one. Not a lot of equipment needed. You need the empty tank. This is one that I've had for a few years. It's empty. I've got the gas one adapter. I really like it because it does have the plastic piece to turn on to mount to the tank. I've got a 20-pound tank here. All right, and I've got a small hex key, and I'll show you what that is. That's to bleed the valve to get the air out. You see, you're putting liquid propane inside this tank. All right, so it will displace the air, and you want to try to get the pound. The scale that I've got is just a standard kitchen scale. I'll put a link up there if you need to get it. But basically, it's so I can weigh my tank, and as you can see, that right there is holding in at 1 pound. So we want to get close to 2 pounds. Now, before I say anything else, do not do this around anything flammable. Don't be around open flames. Don't be smoking a cigarette. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. We're outside right now and got about a 20-mile-an-hour wind here. You can hear it. So it is displacing any gas that may escape. So here's what we do. All right, I'll go ahead and put this and mount it, as you can see, on this here. Now, tighten it up. Now, then we take the tank here. You've got to have the tank up, this 20-pounder upside down. And I try to get it so where I'm off here and I can put that in there like so. Get it tightened up. All right, we're tight. Now that you got it, open up your valve. You'll hear it. Now, let it run, and it'll stop when it gets up to the pressure. It'll get forever more cold. Be smelling, you can smell the propane. But once you hear that it stops hissing, that's when we'll turn the valve off. Okay, we don't hear any hissing. So now turn the valve off on your tank. All right, now that you got the valve off, loosen the 1-pounder. See, we only got 5.5 ounces in it. Right there. All right, so we put it back on. I'll do this a couple of times to try to get it as full as I can, but get it to where the 1 pound is. All right, turn your valve off. The hissing has stopped. Unscrew it. There we go. Now, we're at 1.8 right there. All right, so we've got 1/2 pound in it. Bleed the air off of it. There you go. Screw it back on. All right, no more hissing. Turn your valve off. Again, same procedure. I bleed them off 2 or 3 times to get more gas into it. There we go. Now, let's see what we got. We're at 111. All right, so we bleed off again. Because what's happening is the liquid is displacing the oxygen, pushing it up. Screw it back on again. Good tight fit. Open your valve. You can hear it feeding it right then. When you don't hear the hissing anymore, that means it's reached its capacity. All right, the hissing has stopped. Turn your valve off. Always remember your sequence. Turn the valve off to the big tank. Come back, unscrew it. We're off, no leaks. And let's see what we're weighing. Right at 2 pounds. We're done. We're done. Usually I'm trying to be below that, but we got 2 pounds in at that time. So now we've got a refilled tank right here that's ready to use again. Well, as you can see, it's very simple. Now I know it can scare some people doing this, playing with the propane. But as long as you use common sense, and I know sense isn't common anymore. I mean, I don't even, but the problem is with common sense is that if you don't use common sense to get common sense, it's going to cost you. Okay, you can figure that out. It's basically that old saying, here's your sign, all right? Don't be around anything flammable. Don't be smoking a cigarette. Don't light a cigarette. Don't be around any kind of fire when you're doing this, okay? Because it comes out in a gas, and it can go boom, okay? But keep it in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to be inhaling this stuff. And well-ventilated, I was outside with 20, 30 mile an hour winds right now, so it was well-ventilated. And just be safe. Make sure there's nothing that could cause a spark. I used a plastic table there so that there wouldn't be any sparks. But use common sense. Make sure your connection's good. Put it on there. Fill it up. Take it off. Bleed it. Put it back on. Weigh it. Put it back on. Fill it. Take it off. I mean, always get the sequence. Turn that valve off on the big tank before you unscrew the little one. Okay, that's another important common sense there. But you can see this thing will pay, like I said, it's about $11 on Amazon. I'll put you a link down there. But you can save yourself. The tank that I was using, I paid $15 to exchange it. So there's probably about 15 pounds of liquid in it. And so it cost me $15. That's $1 a pound. Cheaper than meat anymore. And and I fill one of these up for $1. I've already got the tank. Like I said, these are running about $9 or $4.50 a piece, $4.50 to $5 a piece when you buy them filled. But now you can fill them yourself. Save that money, put it back, use it on other preps. Guys, like I said, it's simple. You can do it, and I've just showed you how, but just be careful. That's the name of the game. Be careful. Well, again, guys, that's the video. Always remember, you can put prayer requests down in the comments. You can send them to me on the email. It's in the description. Always remember, you can go to theprepandpreacher.com. Guys, I love you and I want the best for you. But until I see you again, I'm praying God may richly bless you. That you'll continue to stand in that gap. This is the Prep and Preacher, guys. I am out of here.